Welcome to Bragging Rights, episode 28.
28. Dean's wrote it down.
28 on there.
Cheers.
Dean's got me all prepped whilst he's
Even beyond the grave, he's keeping us right.
He's not dead. He's got a turkey.
He hasn't turned up. He's dead to me.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So yeah, when Dean comes back with his new hairline, he's gone to Turkey. I'm just saying.
He was getting some tits.
when you're unable to differentiate between Jimmy and Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so before I forget, because Dean's written everything down, he's done all my planning out for me because he knows
he's a good egg, isn't
he? Yeah. So, welcome to Bragging Rights, sponsored by Comscaff, housed by Tribal. Yeah. How's your week been?
Long.
Yeah. Yeah. 7 days.
7 days. Yeah. Felt like 14.
Why?
Busy.
Oh, you've been at work 6 consecutive days.
You said it.
Bless him.
And no, 6 consecutive nights.
Oh, get out. What about you?
Yeah, not bad. Bit of a tiring one. Busy with the old work.
Oh, no.
So a wedding on Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Shout out to Langdale clan. They listen.
Yeah.
So I was at them, so they listen.
They're
They
not there
enjoy.
for a wedding, though.
Why was it on a Tuesday?
That's when the wedding was.
It's just a...
When the wedding was.
I've never been to a wedding on
Yeah,
a
it was
Tuesday.
good. We had some good conversation about rugby as well because the Langdale and the Sellers clan was there, so that was good. So yeah, but yeah, how was your week?
Yeah.
You actually beat me to it because I was going to say to Jimmy, I said, I've just realised nobody actually asked Jimmy how his week's been. He asks us 3 usually.
So that's because all you lot are aware of the fact that I've got MS and it affects my memory and I just can't remember anything, and that's why Dean has to write everything down for me like this.
Oh yeah, it does say
I
there, Jimmy, you've been okay this week. So.
Oh yeah, I've been all right this week. Yeah. No, yeah, my memory's awful. Like if you just ask me stuff on the spot like that, it's just
that must be
gone.
good as an FC fan.
Recent or long term?
Wow. Just all memory. I bumped into someone the other day that I went to school with, and I obviously went to school with him for at least 5 years. I'm like, all right, Jimmy, how you doing? And I'm like, hello. He just didn't remember the name. It's just the way it is. Anyway, before we get into Rovers, because obviously you'll go first because both teams won. You are top of the league. I do want to point out, I always forget to do this, but we're getting right up there now with subscribers. I think we're pushing 600 on YouTube. Subscribe. Just press that button. Press the subscribe button. It's great because every time we release an episode, you don't have to rely on the moron behind the camera to remind you on Twitter or X or whatever it's called. It'll just pop up. So subscribe, it pops up, it helps us out, and then the more we get, then we can start
Doing bigger and better things?
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, let's do Rovers first.
Sponsors.
I've just done the
He's done
sponsors.
sponsors.
Have you?
Yeah, I said
testing
sponsored
your
by
memory there.
Comscaff and housed by Tribal.
Where was I for that?
Right there.
Did your MS kick in as well?
It's not contagious.
All right.
I know I am sat closer to him this week, but it doesn't spread. It's not COVID.
Is it not?
No.
Thought it was.
I genuinely have no memory of you saying that.
Yeah, he did. I can vouch for that.
So
I thought it was testing your memory with regards to the memory comment.
Yeah, I
from
thought
a
you were
minute
taking a
ago.
piss.
No, not at all. I just.
No. All right.
It's been a long week.
It would have been quite funny.
How's
if
your
it-
week been?
In fact, I've been interviewing this week because I'm boss now.
Well, like tech support interview.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Idiot.
You bite so bad at that.
I don't work tech support.
Have you switched it on and off?
No, I pay people to tell people to switch it off and on, and it's off and on, not on and off. Anyway, crack on. Tell me about Rovers versus Cass.
Well, it was a lovely sunny afternoon. That's about the long and short of it, really.
It was windy, wasn't it?
There was a bit of a breeze. It was quite nice.
I think feeling the sun that I felt today, with the wind being a bit less, was obviously there yesterday. I did comment, I was like, probably getting a nice tan, but you don't realise, because especially with Craven Street moving to be behind the East Stand to make way for the Coldplay concert
Nothing
set up,
blocking it.
it was a bit strange. You could really feel it. And then it did actually play a bit of a part in the game. It was hard to tell, but I was a bit confused during the game. In the first half, I felt like the wind was with us coming off the docks, directly blowing down. But then as the half went on and we got in the second half, I started going, I'm not sure if this wind's more swelling, because the ball did a few funny things and the posts were rocking, a few of the corner flags seemed to be going in a bit odd direction. So yeah,
Directions.
Direction.
Yeah, some odd directions, buddy. And beach brew. Yeah, so yeah, it was definitely windy, but it was a nice day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, not really a lot to talk about. The only sort of in the build-up was obviously Tyrone May missing out because of his suspension for being a very naughty boy. And I think
it's more than just being a very naughty boy.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think
that we can say.
I think
on this,
it's not just the fact that he was a naughty boy to say.
Stupid.
It was so completely idiotic to, especially in the game he did it in. You were all over Salford, like, just walk away.
Well, that's why you guys were sensible this week, weren't you?
Took players off.
Took Caesar out, so he didn't play today, so that he couldn't. Because we know what he's like.
We're
for
not
having a
talking
go.
about our game yet. Come on.
But yeah, so it raised the question who was going to go in at 6. So obviously there was Litton, Morg, Broadbent all touted for their Hiku as maybe probably sort of lower down the pecking order, but we ended up going with Morg, which meant a bit of a backline reshuffle, if you will, a little bit, because Batch moved to centre. Yeah, he's played there a fair bit, but then obviously that meant Broadbent going into full back, and I think that took away from his attacking game a little bit. So obviously it's a very different role from centre to full back, so I think that did take away, and we did look a little bit disjointed, I think, especially in that first half, because even though it was only a couple of changes, they were in key positions. So for me, I think that affected us a little bit.
James Hogarth on Humberside asked me on Wednesday night, he said, who would you like to see there? And I'd said it was Morg. He has played there and he can play there well. And I don't by any stretch of what I'm saying think that he played badly yesterday. But I think it was quite apparent that we probably hadn't done enough practice work with him there over weeks and weeks. Because as we've seen previously, we'd put Jez in the halves to partner up with May when Mikey's been out. And we haven't really had to see what happens when May's out. He hasn't really missed many games. And it was slightly clunky in some ways at times. We was doing all the normal things. We was getting the ball through hands. We was getting it from dummy half. It was going to Minnie, and then it was going to Morg, and then to Mikey. But at times it just felt like it was a split second slower than it normally would be with May.
Yeah, did feel like that.
And almost as if at times Morg was maybe caught in a couple of minds, or maybe even 3 or 4 minds of, is this ball to be kept and I'm going myself if it's on, or is this ball going to Mikey, or is it going to a forward, or am I dropping this one back inside? And I'm not by any sort of bad comments saying I don't want him to play there again if we need him to, or to play there next week against Wigan. I still think it's the right choice. I just think he needs some more game time practice in there, and those things don't happen in a week's worth of training.
Yeah, it's a key position, and it takes years to become good at that position, if you will, let alone to...
Yeah, it does, and he was still dangerous going forward, and he was still good in defence. Not the best, nowhere near as good as Mays defensively, but Mays a very good defensive half, so there was some grey areas where you could say we missed May, but overall I was pleased at Morg's performance, and I was pleased Morg got in the half, so I thought it was the right choice for us.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed. I just thought he might have gone with Jez, especially against Castleford, and no offence to Castleford, but so-called lesser opposition. I'd probably have gone with Jez in the halves, because it makes more sense because you're having less shuffling around.
I would have thought you'd have gone with Jez.
Gone with Jez. Him and Mikey, obviously best mates, know each other very well. That rapport and that friendship's already there, which obviously I'm not saying it's not with Morg, but obviously with Jez it's a lot more built up already. But then you keep Morg at full back, and then you give Leyland a run out.
Yeah, I don't disagree, because this is the way we've gone. I do wonder as well if there's almost a longer game plan around the minutes that Leyland's getting. You know, he's still young. We know next year he's probably going to be getting in the 18 every week, probably in the 17th every week, unless we mysteriously sign another hooker, because Mickey Mackey's going, and Mickey Mack's getting the minutes. So, yeah, strange one, but it all worked out in the end. And I think that one thing that you can't take away from Cass overall, and I wanted to make sure we said this, was they came with a game plan which was to smother in a way. And we know they've had a poor run of form, and this is no defending that they are a great team. You know, they have got some wins under the belt this year, but they haven't exactly set the world on fire. they had a great game plan, and particularly in the first half, and in efforts in parts of the second half, defensively they played really well. And they did make us have to step out of that comfort gear that we played in for 80% of the game at times to get them tries. Yes, it was a comfortable win in the end. Yes, it was comprehensive in some ways. But they played well in patches, and, I don't want to take away from that. They deserve the credit for what they did do.
Yeah, like you just said there, Josh, they did come with a game plan, and I think I was speaking with Dean earlier, and I think that was to sort of bring us down a little bit. We did seem to sort of drop to their level, which we all know is a thing in rugby, but yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in that aspect that we allowed them to do that to us.
Yeah, I get that. I've got a couple of points on that. The first one being, I do believe, just like we had before the Challenge Cup, an eye on the Wigan game. I don't think that's a fault of ours. I think it's just natural for that to happen in the game of rugby when you've got a big game coming up. Also, Sky and journalists in the media won't stop ramming the game down our throats. Every game for the past 4 weeks has shown that advert to say, by the way, this is the big game. August the 12th on Friday. 15th. August the 15th. So I think that's part of it. I also think, and here's my red and white specs pre-warning, wine of the round. And this isn't specifically about Rovers, but obviously it relates to the Rovers Cas game. I believe recently I've been seeing a lot of the poorer referees getting reffing appointments for games that are deemed, quote-unquote, a foregone conclusion. And you take the top of the league Rovers against Castleford that have struggled. They've only got 3 wins or so against the name this year. They have to come to Craven Park, a bit of a fortress. And you not only end up getting some of the referees that I think are questionable in their ability or
weaker
perhaps than other referees in the sport.
Liam Rush.
Yep.
We can name them. Like, we're not affiliated with the RFL. We all know which ones are the worst.
And then I think what you tend to find is you see them not evening up the penalty count or even up the scores, but I think you see them struggle to referee the game accordingly. And you can see this in Wigan games a lot because Wigan's ball speed is so quick, but Wigan also have a very bullying and dominant defence. They did this on Thursday night against Wire, and this isn't a good example because Wire are a bit of a middling team, but they stand up after they play the ball, they don't step back, they stand over the player when they defend. And oftentimes when the team try and do it back, they get penalised. The point I'm making is when you've got this refereeing going on, I felt that we were getting penalised at times for laying on in the tackle or perhaps being a bit slower to get up. Yet when they did it, they didn't get penalised. Now, ultimately, it means nothing for the game, but it's become a bit consistent over the last sort of maybe 2 months for me. You watch a game on a Thursday night and you've got like Salford playing, I don't know, can even be Catalan, before Catalan started going on a poor run of form. And you think, this is fine, there's nothing to worry about, everything's good. And all of a sudden you start seeing the same penalties that have been given one way, not given the other. Or they don't get given for your team when you've just seen them give the way. And there was 4 or 5 examples for me where I thought, I think Castleford are lucky to get them. And then I think we're unlucky to be penalised. Yeah. I don't know your thoughts on it.
You say red and white glasses there, but I said the same before the game to Elliot, who we used to play at Lambeth with, Elliot Taylor. I said it to him, I said, you're seeing now referees of sort of a lesser standing, shall we say, are getting them sort of games, and then like your Kendalls and your Moore, your Liam Moore, are getting the so-called higher profile games. So I don't think it is red and white glasses. We saw it last week. We had Vela last week, and I don't think he was brilliant. Not that it really mattered. Yeah. And then this week we had was it Rush? We had Grant.
We had Grant this week.
We had Grant. Yeah. So I don't think it is that at all, but.
It was just a whine from me, anyways. I know it doesn't matter we won, but it's just a whine from me. It's not specifically about us. I think it happens across the league.
I don't think it is a whine. I think it's a good point to bring up, and like the whole allocations of referees and what teams they're getting. Like Wigan in 21 of their games have had like 17 involvements from a referee from the Wigan area, whether that be Moore, and I think is Grant the other one. Jack Smith. So, yeah, it's disappointing to see, but when we ain't got the quality of refs, what do we do? So
we'll never get that unless people start reffing, though.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
It's just not.
It started from a young age, but there's a lack of respect for referees in the community game that people don't want to do it.
Yeah, I get that. it's the problem with it is it's like, oh yeah, like I'd love it if there were more refs. I'd love it if there were better refs. Is it that really of an exciting prospect for like a career path? Would you say, like, you know, there's a lot of jobs out there where you can earn a lot more money than you can as a Super League referee. Like, I get it with football. You know, the amount of money that you earn as a Premier League referee, for example, is an absolute fortune.
I think it directly leads, and we've gone on a tangent to talk about refs, which is my fault, but it directly leads to getting less quality people coming in, because there is passion to be a good referee, I'm sure there is, but the money isn't very good.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't strive for that sort of extra level of professionality and to make people want to be better, because, well, there isn't a big pool of people. There's no risk of losing your job. Yes, they do get knocked down to a championship sometimes, but really at the end of the day, they're lumped to what they've got. There's a small pool of refs, and they are held accountable internally, we're told, but we never see it externally. And the reality is, what other choice do you have? You don't, do you?
I'd be a video ref.
out there.
I'd 100%.
Providing you could control it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, provided I could control the cameras myself, I would quite happily be a video ref. You wouldn't need to be. I wouldn't have thought like full time.
Yeah.
You know, you don't necessarily have to travel as much. Like get the gear in my garage, I'll do it there. Like,
but yeah, just I've not really much else to say about the game. Was there really? I think we've covered most of it. Just a couple of things that I had on here. Big Sam, luckily 200th appearance, which is, you know, it's massive nowadays in sport to hit these sort of milestones, especially in rugby league, 'cause it's such a short career. So yeah, 200 up for Big Sam, and he led the song in the dressing room afterwards. So that was quite a nice touch. And then Budgie, another hat trick. I don't know if you've seen this, but he got another hat trick yesterday. So his stats as it stands for Rovers, I stole this from Hull KR shirts. Mikey, who
shout out.
We know of, so Hull KR shirts, go watch that as well. He's played 43 and he's scored 38 tries.
Yeah, some going, isn't it?
And he's got 9 in his last 3. So he's certainly found a home. You know, he's been to a couple of clubs, been over the water and whatnot, to far away water. Yeah,
and he's threatened to streak next week if we beat Wigan.
He has, yeah.
he's sorry, what now?
Threatened to streak.
Is that a threat, or is that just trying to draw in a more
Depends
of a female
if he sues
crowd?
and fancy him. Or
To be fair, he won't wear clothes after we won the Challenge Cup, so I doubt he'll take much
he
to
won't
get the
stay
kit
in clothes
off.
for 5 days. But yeah, Craven Street behind the. Just quickly, sorry, just to cut you off there. Craven Street behind the East Stand. Yes or no? Did it work?
I think it worked well for the fans. Speaking to Tribal when we got here today, don't think it works well for the vendors in terms of financially.
I think that was more the fact that everybody had to be out by 2:45. You could see why they did it, because people need to get in their respective stands and whatever, and you can't see the game from there. Where
it also stopped other stands going in, didn't it?
After at half time, it did, yeah. So that could be something, if necessary, that could be worked on. But apart from that, it worked for me. It was a lovely space, you know. Obviously, in the wetter months, it's not going to be.
It's lovely
great.
until that back chippings gets wet.
Yeah.
At the normal spot, but the rain at least it washes away. On that field, it gets boggy.
Yeah, of course. So that was about it.
I've only got a couple of things to finish up then, mate, because they say they want a lot. I thought the atmosphere was really flat.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought the East Stand was very quiet. I was quite disappointed with the atmosphere overall. We seem to be a bit hit and miss this year with the atmosphere. Seem to get behind the boys sometimes we don't seem to. I think there's a number of reasons why. I think we've got a lot of new fans in there. I think we have sort of strange vibes where a song will start up but then there'll be a head high and it kills you off, which happens in every game. So that was a bit disappointing. Wanted to make a point around, there were some good performances out there against a poorer team. I think Kalepi had a great game going forward, probably gets a bit knocked down for the no try, but he was very strong going forward. One thing I wanted to know, and I think we've fallen foul of this since winning the Challenge Cup, unrealistic expectations of who you're playing against. Okay, when you're playing Salford, you can expect to win a big score. That team has got worse and worse week on week. But Castleford are still a Super League side. They've still got a couple of wins this year. You should still be happy to win by 30 points. But there's almost this unrealistic expectation that Rovers should win 60-0 because we're top of the league, and that's all that matters. Forgetting that when you look at Wigan last year, who won the quadruple, who managed to get 4 trophies, they had their little patch in the middle where they not only lost games, but they nicked games by 2 and 4 points. And yet, in our sort of down patch where we've lost a couple of games, we've had some dodgy performances where we haven't been too pleased, we're still putting teams to the sword, and they're only scoring 1 or 2 tries. So, need people to just maybe reset the focus a bit and be realistic about a win's a win for me.
I think it's one of those, isn't it? We haven't been in this position before. You know, it's new to all of us, and I think it is easy to get carried away. So hopefully some fans can rein it in and just maybe temper their expectations a little bit. But apart from that, it's neutral territory for us, isn't it? We haven't been there. We don't know. So
I suppose that's fair. My final thing then this week, shout out. Going up to the East Stand, I think it was just before kick-off, I could hear someone shouting my name. So shout out to Ethan. Nice lad, met him, stands not too far from where I stand. So he's a big fan and watches the pod. As always, it is just always nice to meet people that watch and listen, and people that, even when we do give me the banter and say give the FC guys a bit more shit, you know, it's still nice. I know.
We got time for more.
Yeah. But it was just, great. So Ethan, you get a shout out this week, so nice to meet you, pal.
Yeah, I've got a quick shout out as well. Guy, don't know him. He didn't know me by name, but as I walked past him at the bottom, well, I don't know him, so it's he'll know
he
it
didn't
is.
know me, I don't know him, but he smiled.
No, he knew me because he went up the bragging rights. So shout out to that guy. I'll have to catch your name next time. So quick roundup then. The academy. Oh no, second half. Joking. Academy. We drew 22-all at home to Castleford on the 3G pitch at the back. The women put Cass Women's to the sword, 54-10. Played on the main pitch, and then the wheelchair team played today. We played Wakefield at Wakefield and they won 80-0.
Oh, I'll tell you one more
It's not my pod.
because I probably didn't hear you say it at the beginning, but because we are recording Sunday directly after the FC game,
I didn't mention
we
that.
have we are in trouble now. It's Sunday night. There's people still enjoying a drink, watching Liverpool get beat.
Lol.
We don't know about any disciplinary or anything like that, or any injury news that will likely come out over the next couple of days. So
Keep an eye on the socials.
even on the preview bits that we'll do, and we will talk about a couple of potential injuries and changes, we don't really know. So we'll put out on socials if you don't see it anywhere else first. But yeah, we are so live now on a Sunday afternoon that there's not a lot to know.
No, definitely not.
On that note, sponsors. Press the button, Susan.
This week's episode is sponsored by Comscaff.
Commercial Scaffolding, or Comscaff, are a Hull-based company formed over 30 years ago.
They offer a safe and professional scaffolding service nationwide.
For services and enquiries, you can go to comscaff.co.uk or call 01482 782 181.
Right, that's that. Craig's literally pissed off. Needed the loo.
He's done, lad.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah. So professional of him. Let's talk about our game today then. If there's that much to talk about, it's hard to even review it because, you know, it's like you try and pick out who played well, who maybe didn't play as well kind of thing. And it's, how did Ardacre work in the halves with Cust? And it's like, none of it really even came into play. It was just gap after gap after gap.
One of the commentators at one point on TV referred to it. He said it's like when you're watching kids play when there's like an age difference. And
Yeah.
I started to write some notes, and then as the game came on, you deserve plaudits winning the game, you always do, but it was awful to watch. It was worse than watching our game last week.
I agree.
As soon as the game came on, they talked about these new 9 loan players they'd got. I looked down the team sheet and I only recognised 4 names, right? Whereas last week I think I recognised 8, so not much better.
Yeah.
But I only recognised them few. And I wrote down, and I was going to say, like, pre-game, what would you guys expect the score to be, you and Dean? And then I was going to leave it and say, pre-game, you guys said. I forgot to text it, and after like 10 minutes, I just thought I won't even bother asking because at this rate, I don't know what you can't even. If you said I expect us to score 100, it could have come across almost arrogant, but it was almost realistic. If you'd have said I expect us to win by 50, that would have been unfair on everything about it was just boring, just unfortunate to watch as a sport, and just a shame basically.
Yeah. So I picked Dean up before the game, got in the car, and it was that conversation of there's either going to be nothing to speak about on the pod because it ends up with an 80 odd, we said 50 in the car. Like if it's a 50 plus point win, there's really going to be nothing to talk about. It's going to be very similar to your game against them last week, or there's going to be a lot to talk about because we have a typical MKM Stadium performance and we get dragged into a battle. And it turns out there's nothing much to talk about. There's a couple of things that we'll talk about towards the end. But for me, it was nice to see Asiata and Price back.
Any concerns on Price? Sorry to interrupt.
There was a concern.
He was holding that hip a few times.
Yeah. So first half, it looks like he got a knock in a tackle. Just caught a bit of a stinger. And he did look a little bit like, you could immediately tell it wasn't his hamstring, so that kind of settled me down a little bit. You could tell it was something, either his hip or his glute or whatever, maybe just taking a bang. But the fact that the trainers kept coming out, just double checking with him, they're all like, yeah, I'm good. He kept playing on, and you could see as time went by, it was noticeable that it was freeing up. And I think the moment when I thought he's fine is they'd put a kick through and he thought it was going to go dead, and it just popped back up in the in goal, and he caught it, and he just that sidestep, and I'm like, yeah, he's fine, because he stepped off of his right leg as well, which was the side where he was holding it. So I was all right with that.
Because he did look in a bit of pain when he took that catch for one of the kicks in the first half.
Yeah, it was the tackle. His last tackle before that, where I think he got hit, because it won. I think you said it, and I think Lano said it on the text as well. He was messaging me through the game. He says, "Oh, it looked like he hurt himself making that catch, but as you were there, you could see that he kind of hobbled to get the catch anyway. So he was already hurting before he caught the ball."
That one after he kicked the ball as well. I think that was second half. Wasn't? Oh no, that catch was in the second half, I think. No, it wasn't in the first. Yeah, the kick was in the first as well, I think, because he sort of turned
about
around
5 minutes apart.
Yeah, turned around back towards the halfway line, didn't he, as if to say like, "Ooh, I'm done,"
that's done
kind of thing. But was there any further raised concerns there, or no? Still same.
Yeah, it's still same. I've not listened to Carty's interview, so I don't know what's been said, because I literally got in the car, came straight here from the game, so I've not had a chance to listen to that. But
when you put Umbersad on.
That is a question that I can't answer, because I just didn't put Umbersad on in the car, because turned the car on, Luke Combs was on the radio, and I'm like, I'm not turning him off.
If Luke Combs is on, you can't turn that off.
Exactly.
Josh is like, who's he?
Josh is like, who's that?
I know it is. I
just don't care.
He's an hillbilly from America.
I just didn't really care. Just thought it was a bit weird you two were fangirling so much.
Do want to point out one thing that I was really impressed with Price. Just one, the fact that he kept going. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna work it off. He played 60 minutes on his return. Didn't really think, it didn't look like, and I know it's hard to determine because you're only playing against Salford, but we can only go against what we're playing against.
I said that last week. You can only play what's in front of you.
He looked lively still. Once he'd shaken that off, he managed to get himself 5 try assists in the 60 minutes he played. So we were actually we were sat there at the game, me and Dean, and we were sat there like, I hope he plays the full game.
Get 8.
Get 9. Get 9. So he gets one more than Mikey. And to be fair, I reckon if he'd have played the full game, he probably would have done. But Salford were noticeably worse this week than
we live rent free in their heads.
Mike is in their head.
Even today, when they managed to bottle getting a record, bottled a couple of records today, they still managed to find. Martin could have been the all-time leading try scorer in a single game for FC if he'd have got 5, but he didn't. He stopped at 4. Okay. And then obviously
he just chose to stop.
He's like, I'm done. Baron, he'll get a couple.
But you guys even found time to sing about us today as well.
It really winds me up. But to be fair, it's not winding me up as much now. Right, so it does wind me up when we sing about Rovers, and I know we mentioned this before, and we had some person on YouTube commented saying, "Oh, well, they're our rival, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "We're not playing them, don't matter. Like, we don't have to sing about them." But I actually find it funny now because they'll start singing about it, and as soon as they start singing about it, Dean just goes,
But he takes his microphone
Just
to the
put,
MP.
just puts his head in his hands, and then me and cousin Josh, we just look at him and we're just like, oh, he's getting so wound up. So we join in.
I was pleased that you didn't sing "Are You Watching Hulk AR?" because I thought that would be the type of silly thing.
We've not sang that for a while.
No, and I thought if that, because honestly, I think the reason you didn't sing that today is because they didn't want to inflict that on any more viewers than they had to, because it was not good viewing.
No, yeah, it was. Like I said, a couple of
That's
points
top-class
to
shit,
make.
obviously, that.
One of them for Martin. He's now scored 27 tries this season, which for the Super League era is a record for FC. And much to like
27 across all competitions.
Yeah. I don't know how many it is in the league.
Because I think it's 19 because it matches Mikey now. That's what we said on Sky today, but I can't remember which one of them tries it was.
Yeah. Not 100% on this because I've had to add, because I don't know how up to date Wikipedia was where I tried getting my thing from, but it appears as though he's got 37 tries in total for FC across 51 games, and there might be a few out, but for a kid coming in,
a non-established player,
especially when half of that was last season, when you would have expected him not really to score all that many. I think as a first two, if you look at any player in the league, first 2 seasons of that age, you ain't going to find many that are at that level.
Said all along, absolute talent for the future.
Yeah.
And like I said last week when Budgie got 4 against Salford, doesn't matter who they're against. When players are getting an amount of tries like that, it's fantastic. Martin knows how to farm a try line. When he develops and gets going, that's what I said. In a few years, I don't disagree. He's got potential to be an England international.
100%. I mean, I
say it every week.
I saw something on X just as we were getting started here. Like someone put something about him being in the Ashes squad. I don't think he's there. He's not there.
Somebody put an inform England squad online the other day that I saw, and it included Barron and Martin.
No.
And I was like, tell me you're trying to wind people up.
Yeah, I think someone's trying to wind you up. Like as much as I would love it, don't get me wrong, I would love to see an FC player pulling on that jersey this winter, playing against the Aussies. I'd love it, I really would. But it's not. They're not ready. Neither of them are ready. They've still got some frailties in defence, and they could probably just do with maturing a little bit as players, especially when you've got some really strong candidates to play out there on the wing. Even if you don't include Budgie, you've got even Dom Young, for example, seems to be finding a bit of form again.
We're not short on wing talent,
no.
and it's better in the long term for players like Martin that's got the potential. Even Barron's got the potential to get positions to do it. Something I wanted to mention, sorry, because I forgot to say earlier, but something I did find really disappointing today, and I found I found the whole Salford thing disappointing. I know every fan does, so I'm not unique in that, but something I found really disappointing was the modification of rules to allow Salford to be able to field the team today.
Don't get me started.
And then punish them.
No, yeah. I'm not mad about them doing it. We want the sport to go on. So they've allowed them to have 9 loan players. Fine, that's what's happened, right? But then to be deducted in interchange, what we're getting at here when we talk about player safety, the result was a foregone conclusion, right? You was putting together names that no one's ever heard of in 10 of them 13 starting spots. Right?
People mocked us last season for having our jersey numbers going up to 54, which was a record.
Yeah.
We were the first team to break 50. They're at 64 now.
I
saw that, yeah.
I know it's great for the kids and these young lads to have the name on the back of a shirt, but at this point, why are you not just reusing number 1 through 17 like you're playing for an amateur club and save some money instead of paying for printing? But to deduct him an interchange to make the point that you broke the rules after you've changed your own rules to allow them, it's just another RFL mockery, and it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game. It wouldn't have changed anything today. Perhaps it might have made a slightly more competitive game in a slight way if they could have had one more interchange, but the moment they had that first HIA and then an injury, there was instantly down to barely any interchange, and it's just not on.
Just before you go on, Jimmy, Martin was on 16. I'm assuming Super League hasn't updated, so he will now be on 20.
And then I think Mikey's on 19, so he'll have said it when he got his hat-trick. And now
so it does say leader 19, but I don't know if that was Marshall. I don't know who was top.
Mikey scored yesterday, though, so unless he's on 20. Anyways, we'll find out.
If we were recording on a Monday, we would have known all the facts.
Anyway, Martin's on 20, I can say that.
Just another shout out before I Right, I'm gonna move on from you talking about rule changes because as most people know that have listened for a while, I was a massive supporter of the Wolfpack because I lived there while that was going on, and it pains me the amount of shit that the RFL are doing to make it happen for Salford that they didn't give to the Wolfpack. And I know that you're going to have people arguing saying, yeah, well, Salford are a British team. Whatever. Like,
Catalans are a British
yeah,
team.
I know. No, but they're not doing anything for Catalans now, are they? And they're, the only reason they're doing this, we're going to select the two that come up, is so that Toulouse don't.
You should not,
so that they don't put Toulouse in.
You should not be this riled up after you've finally won a second home game.
No, it's because you brought the fact that they're changing rules for Salford.
Yeah.
It winds me up. It does really wind me up. I really do feel for the Salford fans. But before I get onto that, Briscoe today scored his 100th try for FC, which kind of got, just went, we kind of didn't notice it.
Under the radar.
Yeah, it kind of went under the radar, and then I found out after the game that it was 100th try, so cracking for
That's
for
a bit
him.
disappointing that your pitch announcer didn't say scoring his 100th
So the problem that we had
try.
today was, again, something that winds me up. We've got that bloody kids' day, where they let the kids do the announcing and all that sort of thing. And I don't like kids, so...
Found that out earlier.
Yeah.
When you elbowed my 5-year-old in the face and sent it back into good...
I did not elbow your
good
fam.
flush.
Just to confirm to anyone listening or viewing, that actually didn't happen. Whether I thought about it or not is a different question.
She had ice cream all over her face and went to rub it on Jimmy's shirt. So
Yeah, she was sat next to me on
Like
the
a pub
outdoor at the
bench.
pub once.
Yeah.
I was fuming. But I can't remember what I was talking about now. Yeah, I'm a bit lost. Actually, no, at the end of the game, and I know it shouldn't rile me up, I was very disappointed we let them score.
I was going to ask that, actually.
I was very disappointed. It was more disappointing because it was the worst hooker in the league that scored in Brad Dwyer. But yes, he is worse than Burrow.
Is he worse than Walker?
Do you know what, they were praising him on Sky the other day?
To be fair, I saw him run forward once.
Yeah.
So.
I was disappointed.
The Walker point, it was all about who's going to get the 9 shirt for England. And will it be Brad O'Neill or will it be Walker? And then it took the commentators 10 to say, well, we need to discuss Jez Litton. So I think a lot of people are high on Walker. But yeah, I always had my problems with a lot of forward passes from Dwyer. When he played for you, when he played for Leeds before. And taking the wrong option a lot, going for the run when the run wasn't on, which hookers are usually quite instinctive and good at.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did manage to score a belter of a try against you today.
It's just it kind of I'm not saying it fell apart in the second half, because obviously it didn't. We still won by 30 points to 6 in the second half. It was when Asiata went off. We didn't actually. To be fair, it was about 10 minutes off before Dean even said, "Where's Asiata?" Because we were still just doing what we were doing. It was when Price went off and they moved Ardacre to fullback and put Charles on. I felt we lost leadership. It kind of started, like I say, not falling apart, but it didn't seem like there was any sort of organisation or discipline from that point. I felt Ardacre just was in the middle. He was just controlling it. He was doing his normal thing. He was leading. And we lost that voice in the middle.
So was it Cust and Charles then when Charles came on?
Yeah.
So why didn't Cust step up there? That's what I'd be more disappointed in.
So Cust's never been. He's not a 7, is he?
Well, no,
He's not your talker.
It's like
Ardacre was the talker.
I've got a 19-year-old next to me. I need to set an example here. And as a seasoned professional, as he is, as a very good professional, I'm not bagging on him. Just I wonder why. I am a little bit, but why he didn't sort of make that step up. And
what you got to think of, though, mate, you're 60 minutes into a game. You've been playing your game, that free sort of role that he's had for all season alongside Caesar, and then boom, you're expected to just switch and just take control. He's. I know you say he's seasoned. He's only 24.
No, but
it's not
what
like
I mean
an old
is
boy,
been
is
around.
he?
I don't mean like he's 30. I mean,
Cust.
He's only 24.
24, 25.
Seems to have been around forever, doesn't he? That's what I meant. Like
I think it's because he looks.
Yeah,
a bit older
he's got
than
that
20.
top level
Sorry.
experience. Yeah, sorry, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that top level experience. So
I get what you're saying.
I'd have liked to, as a Hull fan, if I was, which I'm not, thank God, I would have liked to have seen him step up a bit more.
And fun fact about Jack Charles, never scored a try for FC. Just one of them where I was like, well, I'll do it today then, won't he, now he's come up. And then didn't, and I was like, what an awful thing for the commentators to say.
They actually said it.
I still felt the commentators were digging you out despite the win today. There was like, they mentioned that. There was like, what did they say at one point about the stadium? Still, there is some noise here today. It's been quiet of late, and obviously they've had their ups and downs. Yeah, more downs recently. I was like, they're just trying to make conversation because even they wanted to be distracted from what was going on the pitch. And I just thought they really don't like you this year.
I'm not surprised that they're trying to find distraction. So like, I'll wrap up with saying, look, at the end of the day, it was a poor game to watch. It was great for us as a team because, you know, we had a week and a half, 2 weeks off, however long it is, come back, you know, get some miles under your legs, get that feeling, that winning feeling back, especially at, you know, 80 points to 6 at home, would have been good for the squad. That's about all you can take out of it. Little roundup of the...
Can I say one last thing about your game if you're going to move away from today's game?
Yeah?
I just wanted to give a shout out to the Salford fans that travelled, the few that did.
I was going to do that.
Oh, sorry, I thought you just said you'd finished on your game.
I was going to give a roundup of our results and then... Because it's not... I think it's something we can talk about in the news as well, is the Salford situation as a whole.
Because I was going to talk about the whole place staying out at the end, the big circle at the end where they've all got their arms on each other. I thought it was very commendable, nice to see.
It makes you feel like there's not going to be another Salford game, doesn't it?
It did feel a little bit like that.
It did. It looked like that and it felt like that. And it was a bit of a sad situation. And look, you know I hate Hull, and I always have done, I always will. But at the end of the day, it was still rugby players along rugby players. People that know each other. At the end of the day, Dwyer played for your club not that long ago. Big circle in the middle of the pitch afterwards, arms around each other. Just like a look, we're all blokes here, we're all trying to do a job. And I thought, yeah, that was nice to see. And yeah, shout out to the few travelling fans that made it and who gave their owners some raised hell a few times as well.
That's
yeah.
The only part of this that kind of... Not the only part, but that's the worst bit about it for me is for the fans, because I've got no love for Salford or their fans as such, but you know, you try and put yourself in their position and think, what would I feel like if this was
2016, 17?
Yeah, I mean, I liked them for about 5 seconds then when O'Brien put that drop goal over. But
oh, I thought you meant the unbeat. Yeah, they have 96, 97 when you folded Gate Sharks.
Oh, shut up.
They've been through it. These lads know.
No, but on a serious note, I do feel really sorry for the fans. You know, it can't be nice, especially with just the way that the new owners have treated it. I said something to Rach before I left, because I did actually nip home before I came here. Before I left to come here, I said if this was football, especially Premier League, they'd be in court. The new owners of Salford are being caught because the way that they've just treated that club with a complete disregard since they bought it is laughable. But also, I think the RFL should be right there with them as well for letting it happen. It's not just bad for Salford; it's a disgrace to the league. So,
just touching on the Salford fans, I'd seen somebody on Twitter, so that Aaron Bauer had commented about, like, as a punishment to them, they should like stop going to the games or whatever. And this, I think she's called 21 Lucky for some, Rachel, I think she's called, Salford fan anyway. And basically she turned around and she went, but it's our club. You know, not going is not an option.
yeah.
Like, so that's the worst part for me. Like, these fans, I mean, I've got goosebumps now just talking about it, but...
It's because the aircon's on.
Oh, no, that's nice. It's those die-hard fans, you know, that have been there through thick and thicker that are just getting shat on, yet they still go week in, week out, they're still cheering, they're still, you know, credit to them.
Yeah.
It's just
a
sad state
They want
of
a lot
affairs.
today, but yeah, fair play to the ones that turned up.
What about Salford fans?
Anyway, on that note, just to recap,
Too easy
FC.
sometimes.
Friday night, the under-18s beat Salford 64-0. That's because all the Salford's under-18s were getting rested for today's game, I think. And then our wheelchair team got beat 98-0 by Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds are, I think they're one of the best 3 Super League teams that there is. Wheelchair league teams. I think it's them, London. London Roosters, they're called.
Oh, right.
And then there's another team, and it's like the 3 that are up there. So I probably wouldn't read too much into that, because Leeds are a very, very well-established side. They've got internationals going from
98-0 though. Like, I don't know enough about wheelchair rugby. I'll be honest. I'm probably sound really bad. I've never watched a game of wheelchair rugby. I know England won the World Cup, I think, a couple of years back. Like, but
And that French ref got banned from reffing.
yeah, like
Brilliant.
I've never watched it. I don't understand the rules as such. But 98-0 in any sort of
5
sport.
tackles and a kick.
Is it the
Or
same?
a punch, yeah.
Is it? Oh, all right, fair
Yeah,
enough. You know what? I'll endeavour to watch it.
It's
Try-
good,
just watch
really
one.
good.
I can't say I watched loads, but it is entertaining, and it's more physical than you imagine.
All right. It's because I watch so many other things. It's like Rachel's nephew says to me, he's like, you watch everything. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, what did you watch last Saturday? I was like, SummerSlam. He went, right. What did you watch on Sunday? I was like, Formula One.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, and SummerSlam again. And then he's like, well, what about the other day? Like, when you were up late? I was like, I was watching basketball. Like, and then when it's the NFL season, I watch everything. And it's just something I've just not got round to watching.
Change
so.
basketball for baseball, and you've pretty much got me.
I've got tickets for the Blue Jays in August, end of August. So. Anyway,
Without Dean, we've just let this whole section go. Wow.
sod him. It's his fault for not turning up.
Well, it's fancy swanning off.
And right, Susan, your time to shine. We're going to talk about what's going on at Tribal. So, no, you're not shining that much, mate. Calm down. Right, Friday night this week, so Friday the 15th, 8 o'clock kickoff. OKR are playing away at Wigan. It is a long old trek, so if you don't want to make that trek, come to Tribal, buy some drinks, spend a load of money. Amy will be really happy.
Which, to be fair, they've got no excuse, because the club are putting on £1 coaches. So
You charge your fans to go on coaches. That's bang on about it.
That's what the big dogs
But
do.
yeah, if you can't afford £1 for a coach, come and spend £5 and buy a pint at EE Travel.
22 coaches, last count, going from the club.
Okay, shut up. Right, Saturday the 16th of August.
More than the free buses.
Even less of an excuse to not go to the game if you're an FC fan, because we're at home to Lee Leopards. That's 5:30 p.m. kickoff. But if you're not going, will you actually shut up?
Just carry on.
If you are not going, come to Tribal, watch it on the big screen. And that's about that for Tribal, because I'm wound up now. Do you know if you talk while I talk, trying to explain things, people can hear what you're saying, and it sounds awful. Oh, so Amy, who's sat over there behind the camera, has said we're not open on Saturday, but what she has done is she said, hold on, let me explain. She sent me a picture on here to say, tell people to come to Tribal on Saturday.
We've got the M&D fundraising event, which is a ticketed event.
Right, so the,
People need to buy the tickets for the fundraising event to make a thing for M&D.
I wouldn't mind, but she
Right.
sent you
And
that
is
5
that here?
minutes before we started.
so wait there, are you...
It will be on some of the screens, but
Okay, right. You might not be able to hear Amy, but you can come and watch the rugby on Saturday. But it is a ticketed day. They're doing the fundraiser for MND. I believe that's now on the screen. So yeah, it is a ticketed event. They will be showing the rugby at that, but that's not the point. The point of Saturday at Tribal next week is to come and support was it Running for Rob? They're doing a premiere. And I think Craig Escrett's going to be here as well. So, yeah. Please, if you cannot go to the stadium to watch it, please come to Tribal, put your money into that, and then you will be able to watch the rugby while you're here. So,
Yeah, Compare Mador and some of the Rovers players will be here as well. So
I'm glad you heard
where
that.
I'll go.
I didn't hear that.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, okay.
All of the Rovers players. Actually, I'm not actually in charge of them all, so I can't see all of them. But a lot of them will be here. But they should all be here. But yeah, it'd be worthwhile coming to that. Even if you're a Rovers fan, come down. If you're an FC
What time
fan,
does
come
that
down.
start?
Come down.
Doors open at 12.
Doors open at 12.
The preview is on at 2. So it'll be
I'll be touring over because I'm child free this week. So
We'll still come and put some money in.
I ain't got £5. I'll spend it all on beer on Friday
I'm
night.
driving to Wigan, so I'll be very
Are you
slow there.
actually?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
Going straight
drive.
from work.
Awful. Right, what we got next? Oh, it's Josh's bit. News.
Not a lot of news. again, because it's Sunday, and we'll probably get more interesting stuff over the next couple of days. So I'll just throw a couple of ones that are more temptation news, teasing news, because we'll get more in the next few days, but teasers. Cassie's new head coach is to be unveiled ahead of the game next week versus Leeds. They have managed to take their shortlist down from 5 men down to 4, and they're going to reduce that again after Monday's second interviews to 2, and then they'll announce it next week. So we should know before the Leeds game next week who the new Cass coach is.
Might be I'm going to say it's probably going to be Paul Rowley.
It could be.
It would make sense, innit? Because he already blew his shot at a job at FC last year. I honestly think that Myler probably walked past him today and went, "You could have been here."
In the post-match interview today,
He looked really sad.
he's looked sad for a long time, but
Well,
he
yeah,
did
that's
say
true.
the question was put to him, have you been tempted to leave after last week and now this week? And he just said, look, and fair play to him because he's got a lot of class as the bloke. He said, I'm here for the fans and for the young players and the players that I've got, and I just want to keep doing a job for them. Now, we've all just said unanimously that we don't expect there to be a Salford next week. You know, we've pulled that out of thin air and said that, but, you know, things didn't look great today, did they? And if that turns out to be true, you know, we always joke about us putting things into existence, Billy Boston's knighthood, etc.
Yeah.
If this happens and we're not a team, you wouldn't look far past Paul Rowley being the Castleford coach. So we'll see.
That might be the third thing we do.
It could be the third
Because we
thing.
managed to get Amy a free holiday earlier.
Yeah, we've got Amy a free holiday.
We're not going to delve too much into that, but yeah.
Next one, also on the coaching carousel. It looks like we might finally, and this is just boring to me now, we might finally get an answer tomorrow, Monday the... Is it the 8th?
11th.
They can say Monday the 11th of August on what Brad Arthur's going to do at Leeds. Reports broke earlier today from down under that he'd agreed to a 2-year deal with Leeds to stay here. Leeds, from what I've seen before we came here today, have not explicitly come out to deny, but nothing's also come out to confirm. But the agreement was that by Monday they'd have the announcement. So I think over the next week, because it'll probably get delayed again, we should get an answer on whether Brad Arthur's staying or not.
Well, I hope he does stay, and I hope he's got a spare bedroom for his lad to move into.
Anyway, sister-in-law Beth, who's a Leeds fan, doesn't have the same ring as cousin Josh, but I thought I'd try it. She, in his interview, excuse me, in Brad Arthur's interview at the end, he was like, "I've loved my time here." So read into that what you will.
So maybe he's moving back, and his lad's just going to move into his house over here.
His lad's going to go with him wherever he goes over the
What,
pond.
what game was that after?
Leeds game,
No, who did they play?
Lee.
Was that at Lee?
Yeah,
So maybe just meant he loved his time in Lee.
the Morrisons opposite the ground, or the LD, whatever it is.
We'll see.
I really want to go off tangent with this, but I thought it was fantastic. This is a shout out to a username on Reddit that I can't remember, but on the league
Great
game,
shout out.
on this.
It's Weston Craig.
I
Shout
know,
out
I know,
earlier.
but I feel like I should have remembered it because it's not my joke and it was great. But do you know those stupid smoke that keeps going off around the Lee Sporting Village non-stop?
Yeah.
It went off randomly at some point during the game this week, and somebody online on Reddit commented and said, that smoke, that's how good Lee are. It doesn't only go off when they win a ball steal, they also get to announce the new Pope at the same time. And I was like, yeah, good banter.
Wow.
Anyways,
But for those that don't know, white chimney, white
Yeah.
smoke comes out the chimney of the Sistine Chapel when they've elected a new pope.
Really? You just took all the fun out of that joke.
I don't care.
it's
You
been
are a
chaos again tonight.
proper
Final
dad.
bit of news I'm going to get through tonight. Ken Davey has come out to say that in the next 6 to 8 weeks, he expects that we will know where Huddersfield will play their games from 2026 onwards. As we know, there has been a plan in place for them to buy the Shea, Halifax's ground, to play there temporarily whilst they get to build a new ground in or around Huddersfield, the home of rugby league. But we haven't had that confirmed, and we know they've played games at Dewsbury again this year. They played a game which went down quite well, so we know that's still in the mix. But it looks like, for all intensive purposes, in the next sort of month and a half to 2 months, they'll probably announce the Shea's been purchased. He'll own that. Halifax will play the games there, and then they will get to work building a new stadium.
Aylworth Park have got a grandstand they could use.
They might just about fill it.
To be fair, Salford Stadium's probably going soon.
Just pick it up and move it like a Lego set.
Wow.
But that is it from news because there's not a lot else to fly out with.
Uh,
I'm
Yeah.
using some real bizarre terms tonight to fly out.
Fly out with.
I mean,
Yeah. A shout out to Dean, really, wasn't it, subconsciously,
Yeah.
Why?
It's flying tonight.
No, you ain't.
tomorrow.
Well, so why ain't he here then?
He could have recorded and drove down afterwards
Where's he going to leave his car?
in the airport.
That's expensive.
And
It's cheaper to get on a train.
said nobody ever.
I mean, it is.
Is it actually?
Yeah,
don't
they're
know.
leaving your car. How much it costs a
I don't
fortune
park
to
in
park your
I
car?
don't drive.
Oh, yeah, I know you
It all
don't.
depends on how long you're going for and where you park it. So in other news, trains may be more expensive than parking at airports, but we don't know. Let's move on.
No, a little bit of FC news for anyone that hadn't read. FC have tied up 3 of their academy products this week. We've signed 2-year extension for Joe Ward, who was a winger, 2-year extension for Will Kirby, who's a back rower at 19-year-old, and a 1-year extension for Matty Laidlaw. I think that's well deserved for Matty Laidlaw as well. It's tough for him to get in that squad because of the amount of amount of experienced players he's got in front of him in the prop position. But yeah, I think he's done well. Deserves it. Knight's out for the rest of the season. I think most people know that, with an ankle stress fracture. And then just touching on the Brad Arthur thing, Cartwright has confirmed that we are interested in signing Brad Arthur's son, Jake Arthur, who plays the 6th position. So yeah, potentially Jake Arthur at 6 next season. We'll see. There is an interesting article in the paper this week, though. I say the paper like it's actually printed. Liggy, apparently there's still a chance that Liggy will be with us next year, but that would mean letting someone leave. I think we can all unanimously say that if any of the quarter players were going to leave next year, it would be Rapana, but we've not heard any actual news on that. And then me and Dean had a chat, and I'm like, well, letting Rapana leave for certain reasons, with regards to performance is one thing, but then would you want to then use that spot on Liggy, who hasn't really done much for us
He's
except
been
give...
injured since February.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, over the last couple of years, I think all he's done, well, the main thing that he's done for us is give away penalties. Like, I'd be looking for us to use that quarter spot a bit more wisely.
I think you've got to get to the end of the season, see where you land. For me, I'm not saying it'll happen, but right now, you'd have to be comparing him to who's done less for you as well. Rapana's name springs to mind, as you know, I'm happy digging him, but right now, there's still that question mark over Cartwright. Like, he's had like 2 decent games. Today doesn't really count against Salford. All right, he managed to make it through the game. You've got to get him through the back end of the season and see if he can stay healthy, because it was only 3 weeks ago FC fans were calling for the question to be raised, when is the coach going to say that his son doesn't have a game anymore?
Yeah.
So there's more
I've
to
said
come
it.
from that. I know you have, and that's not a
the
dig,
thing
it's
is
just
for Cartwright, for me though, is when he plays, I see no issue with his...
And there's a high ceiling in FC fans' opinion on Cartwright. There probably isn't that higher ceiling for Liggy.
Yeah, like I see a lot of value in a fit Jed Cartwright, whereas I don't see much value in a fit Liggy Sow now. Jed, he made the couple of errors in his first game back. Trying to win the game on his own maybe. But yeah, I mean, every time I've seen Cartwright play, I do think that there's more to come from this guy. He just needs more games under his belt, and again, that's down to fitness. So, anyway, have we got any listeners' lounge this week? Dean told you not to do it. Oh.
He said he's the only one important enough to lead the questions, and he didn't trust us.
All right then.
I know, I thought it was harsh, but...
Proper dick move, that.
Then we move on then. No, listeners' lounge. People want to send questions in for next week's episode.
Can I call you out?
For what?
A certain Mr. Abel and a Mr. Hindley asked you a question.
Yeah, but I want them to send them in.
Oh, you're going to hold out?
Yeah, no.
So, all right, fair enough.
No, it's not that. It's more that I A, don't want to butcher what they said, and B,
It's your dad, so you're not going to help him out.
No, because I think You'll understand when the question comes, because my dad's, I think he's been a little bit amusing with it as well, and I don't think it comes across as well coming from me or from Susan.
Well, we get him to record a video and send that in, and then we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, if that's what you want. I mean, like,
Yeah. Does he know how to record a video?
it can't be for 2 weeks though, because Dean ain't back, and we're not allowed to do questions about Dean.
Oh, all right. Okay. Fair enough. Right.
I'm going to get it in
Previews.
the neck on Friday now from April.
Ro-
you know that.
Ro- Rovers against Rovers at Wigan. Friday night, 8 o'clock. What's
Big
happening?
game. Big game.
It is a massive game.
It's not,
I think this game decides the league leaders. If
I
you
won't
win
go-
it, you've done it.
I think with a 4-point cushion, it's more difficult to say that. If it was a 2-point cushion which brought them level if they beat us, or if we were level already, like last year.
Sorry, when I say that, I mean it decides the league leaders for you. If you win this game, you win the league leaders. Not necessarily the other way around.
Right, okay, yeah.
Because I think the only other team that's going to come close to beating you this season potentially is us. And that's, again, just because it's a derby.
You all right over there?
Chuckling away.
Amy nearly fell
I
off the
don't-
chair
no, I
laughing
don't
when he
think
said
It's away
that.
from home.
I think, regardless of what anyone says, we've always said it. You never know what's going to happen in a derby. I don't think we're as good as you on the field.
But
I
anything
think
can happen, can't it?
quality-wise, you're still a better team, but it is a derby, and you just never know what's going to happen. I think that's the only stumbling block you're going to come up against.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think it's season-defining as such, as I've seen a few people band around on the socials and things like that. But it's a massive game. You know, it's a real test for us now to see where we are at. Obviously, we lost to Wigan earlier on in the season, but that was after a derby. Read into that what you will, and we didn't have no Mikey for that game, I don't think, or did he get injured?
No, we didn't have him
We
for that
didn't have
game.
Mikey for that game yet. So, for
We've got
me,
no May for this one.
I struggle with May as a half-back. I think he's more of a centre,
Yeah, we've said this.
but that's a question for another day, innit?
Look at the point you've made though, Jimmy. It's going to be a tough game.
We've got a tough run in as well.
Wigan, and that's what I was going to say. Wigan's always tough, so especially at Wigan. I know Wigan aren't playing the best at the minute, but they find a way to win. That's what they do. And you look at the running that we've got.
That's what
so
champion teams do.
It is exactly what champion teams do. And at the minute they're saying that French won't be back, but there was man games this week for the Warrington game where they named him and Miski in the 21. But then they didn't. They sat and watched. Jai Field came back. He had quite a poor showing, I felt, against Warrington this week, but that could be just him getting back to fitness and finding his feet. We're missing May. If we win, I think it puts us firmly almost with two hands on the league leaders, but it doesn't all but do it, because our running where we play Wigan, then Leeds, then Saints, then FC, it's a tough run. Whereas
And we've got Wakefield away as well.
then
in that,
Wakefield and
at
then
the end of the
Warrington.
season, yeah.
Whereas you look at Wigan's running, they play us, then they play Wakefield, who just had a bit of a poor showing this week against Saints, but then they play Catalan, who seem to have fallen off after having a very small resurgence, but they're rubbish. Then they play Saints, who I think is, for me, the massive game here. The way Saints are turning now, if Wigan don't up their form, that's the game that could cost it for Wigan.
Where is that?
That will be away for them at Saints, I believe, if I'm reading this correctly. And then they play Castleford and Leeds. So it's not as like they've got an easy running, but I do think if we win next week, and I am hopeful we do, and I believe that we have got the right thing to do it, it gives us a very, very good chance to say, yeah, we've got two hands on it, not firmly, but loosely. My worries are, we're away, it's tough to play them, we don't have a history of beating them, and looking forward, Mikey took a knock. Mikey was injured on Saturday, and he did have an injection at half-time. Can't confirm what it was. My presumption is it's a cortisone, a steroid injection, which will help with the pain block. And then he noticeably played not poorly in the second half after the injection, but he did play well. He scored a try, he nearly scored a second, he set up, he was running, but he never used that arm to play the ball. And he seemed to be letting it hang loosely. And I know I've had plenty of them injections in the past. They don't often kick in for me for a couple of days when I have them, so it will come in and numb the pain a bit, but you know, it's Sunday night. We played a little over 24 hours ago. There are injuries and knocks, and potentially even maybe disciplinary that we don't know about for things that go on report or got missed that come in and play. So we don't know. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But I think this might be the game of the season. I'm not just saying that because we're involved. You know, two best teams in the league.
I mean, if they're going to step up, it has to be for this.
Yeah.
Like, because
Absolutely.
they've been faltering, haven't they, over the last couple of weeks at least. So
Yeah, they weren't even. I don't want to say it, don't want to jinx it, because I'll come back next week and go, oh, well, I'm eating my words. But they didn't look brilliant against Warrington. Let's be honest, Warrington killed themselves towards the end. They gifted Wigan a couple of tries, which took the game away from them, because for 60 minutes, there was never more than a one-score lead. So,
Oh, look, Warrington. Right, I know we're on our preview, but Dufty cost Warrington a win. Dufty not turning up for training, which is the.
is that what happened?
That's what's going around. It's,
Yeah.
it's not what I've heard, and I don't think I should be saying what I've heard
Like
he's
he was
done.
signing a contract in York.
But
or Oldham.
and we shouldn't speak on rumours about him. But what Sam Burgess said afterwards was about missing training or late for training, and therefore he's punished. Him at fullback instead of Ratchford. Now Ratchford did actually have a decent game, but he didn't have the pace, didn't have the explosiveness. Wigan were weak, and Wire had chances that they bombed, particularly in the first half. And Dufty is an explosive player.
I think it was 3 on it. That dropped.
I think they get more tries, they play better.
You'll need another kidney, mate.
Yeah, just because obviously we never announced before about your MS. We just sort of spoke about it. Thinking, Craig has one kidney, so when he does this,
he's mentioned it before.
Oh no, he has. But
Yeah.
I feel like we get new viewers that don't know. So
Yeah.
every now he has to nip out and see if he can buy one online, and that's where he's gone. But yeah,
Susan is doing that really annoying thing that she does, where like we're trying to do something, and you just see hand movements.
she
everywhere.
wrote something on the board a minute ago that I couldn't read, so I
Yeah,
don't know
know,
how I
it
can
just
speak
winds me
about
up,
it.
To be fair, I think we should sack her.
So going off the point, what Craig was making, I agree with him. I don't think Wigan were that impressive. They haven't looked impressive. They haven't raised the form yet. Teams that have come into a run of form recently are more your Leeds, your Saints, Lee a bit hit and miss. It'll be a real tough game. I think he's right. It could be the game of the season or one of the games of the season. We are travelling down there in force. I think we've got over 20 official coaches. Well, there's a number more. I've seen 10, 15, maybe 20 of our own coaches go. I know a few people that are travelling train, driving down like myself. I think, they've announced that they've sold 16,000 tickets themselves. I think Rovers can be looking at hopefully over 3,000 fans there. I'd like to see us pushing it over 3K there. It'll be an absolute hive of noise. We want a good, clean ref game. I still maintain, I'm bitter about it, that we was done over last year when we played them at this towards the end of the season. We played them away. There was a ridiculous sin bin in for Budgie. That never
was a
should have
flop.
been for that flop, right?
It was a flop.
And we just don't want any dodgy decisions like that question it.
What annoys me is that because they kind of reintroduced the flop rule last year, didn't they? Or they penalised it more last year. They had a focus on it. This year, forgotten about it again.
Oh yeah, completely. It's not even a thing.
Ardacre did it today. Just flopped on something like 2 players already on him. Player was already on the ground, and Ardacre was just like flop. What are you doing?
And the worst thing today was because they had no fans to cheer to try and get the ref to just second guess and go, have I done that wrong? But yeah, I'm conscious of time, and I know you've just let him come back. There's nothing of a major say then. It's a massive, massive game for us, and not only does it help us so much with that, it'll give us that cushion at top of the league and help us think, look, we can do this. It's that monkey off the back. The biggest 2 monkeys that we've had in the last 2 years, nearly 2 years, including what we had this year so far. Can we get a trophy? Yes, we've done it. The next one is, can we beat Wigan? Because thus far we haven't done it.
Fair. And then, so we've got Lee Saturday, 5:30, sorry. It's our charity game this year, so we'll be wearing our blue and pink Hull and East Yorkshire Mind shirt. Great shirt, by the way. For
Beautiful
anyone
shirt, to be fair.
Yeah. Anyone that managed to get one of them, like, peak. My dad, so for those that don't know, my old man's in a nursing home now, like, he's whatever. Anyway, he got the Alzheimer's shirt last season. They actually came and signed one for him, give him one. We got tickets to that game. It was against Saints. He rang me the other day. I was like, that shirt that you had on? I went, yeah. He went, I want one. I was like, all right. Yeah, what size? He went, don't matter.
Just wants a shirt.
Hey?
Ralph, it does matter.
It does matter. And he's like, no, go get framed. I'm like, you just want me to go to the club shop and buy it and get it framed? No, I want it signed. I was like, who do you think I am? Like, in what world do you think I could just rock up at the university and say, yeah, lads, come on, sort this out?
No, you missed the point. He was the world's proudest dad. He wanted you to sign it.
Oh, well, he's got a signed Canada Wolverine shirt from me. But he ain't getting a signed FC shirt.
No, but this is a real shirt, not a made-up team.
Wow. Just wow. You're out of order, mate. Anyway,
Did you train for Denmark?
No, I never
no, you didn't go on the
I
training
never
squad,
actually
did
went
you?
for him. No,
Yeah.
we discussed this on
we
Saturday.
don't like
actually.
trains, they're expensive.
Yeah, and this is why I didn't want to ask the question, because to the point about playing internationally that my dad wanted to put into his question, and we did discuss about the Denmark training on squad that I was invited to, which different story.
Anyway, I actually looking forward to that question now. Hull versus Lee.
Massive
I think,
game for you.
Yeah, it's. I don't know where I'm going with it. Like, in my head, I'm thinking we should have a more or less fully fit team, depending on what happens with Caesar and his shoulder, because I'm not quite sure, because I'm stupid and I didn't put Humberside on. I don't know what Cartwright said about that. I'd like to think if Caesar's back with, Asiata, Price, everyone in position, I like to think we'd be able to give them a good run. But they're not weak, are they? Like, they've had some really good wins this season. There was a fantastic game against them earlier in the season. That draw, that controversial call near the end with Briscoe's foot, but
That had me on the edge of my seat, and I don't support either team.
Yeah, that was earlier on in the season, and I turned around to Dean at that game, and I was like, I hadn't felt like this for years. Like, in terms of like us, like properly grinding out against another team. It's been a long, long time, and it was that kind of game earlier this season where I was starting to think, you know what, we might have put a half decent squad together now. Like, see what we can do. But I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so nervous.
I think it's a huge game for you. I know that sounds like a bit of a nose because we all know it is, but looking at your run in, if I was a Hull fan, would worry me. You play a lot of teams around you that are battling for that same playoff push, and you play a good number of teams that are, if they're not in a run of form, the teams that seem to almost be like you, inconsistent, where they can turn up one week and beat a Wigan, and then turn up the next week and,
we've got,
and lose
what
to
we
a
got next
Castleford.
three? We've got Lee at home, Saints away, then Leeds at home, I think.
Then us.
And then you.
And
That's
that
four massive games.
Yeah.
when we talk about your season as a whole, and I talk about you being inconsistent and having performances or not, realistically, 3 out of 4 might be enough, but you want 4 out of 4 wins there, and that should just about do it, maybe, depending on what other teams do.
Depending on Wakey, really.
But we've got the flips, haven't you? This week, Wakey got well turned over, and you got to play Salford. Next week, you have to play Lee, and they play Salford if there's a Salford team. So
I wonder what will happen there.
it's so...
It's a story for another day.
Yeah,
But
it's probably
We'll talk about that
a
in the
40-point
predictions.
nil for everyone, but I think this is such a huge game because it can unravel from here for you. A loss to Lee, and then all of a sudden we've got to go to Saints now, and that's a tough place to go at the minute because they've finally found some form.
Yeah.
I've bagged on them all year, and there's no denying that they've finally started to do something, so it's huge for you. And like you say, you need all your players to be fit, and you've just got to hang in the game for long enough because Lee, they're scrappy and they found a way.
Yep. And I mean, we've talked about him occasionally through the course of doing this podcast, but Lamb, I can't think of for me, if someone said to me, what 7 do you want to sign out of this league, it's always going to be Lamb. It has been for a couple of seasons now, and I just think the guy is, the potential that he's got to create something. I mean, we were speaking about the Mikey getting 8 assists against Salford last week, but he's still behind Lamb. Dean even said it today. He's like, how? Like, where have all these assists come from for Lachlan Lamb? Like, the kid's just...
I think it's one of those where he's been consistent. So it's like
He
2
is.
assists a game rather than no assists in that game, 3 in that one sort of thing. So, but that's what you want, innit? You want consistency and you want...
Well, all
You're
Rovers
halfback.
fans, we was buzzing when we thought we might be signing him when it looked like May was going.
Oh, God, yeah.
And because I'd said
I was terrified when that was going
I'd
on.
said last week when we mentioned about when I'd said everything goes through it, I actually regretted not saying something that I think about Lamb, which was a while back I made the comment, I think it's probably when I first started, that he thrives being a big fish in a little pond. Absolute rubbish. Completely, I was wrong with that. Because Lee isn't a small pond. Lee are a team that have won Challenge Cup in the last few years. They're up there competing. They've got better and better. They're good for the sport. At the minute, they're sitting third with a good chance to go second. things could fall their way and they could win the league with the way things are going, which should still be ours to lose, but we could do that. And he's doing it on the big stage and he's doing it against top clubs. And he can do it. And so Lachlan Lamb is an absolute beast. And that, again, falls back to why you should be worried about Saturday going to their place.
And it's not just Lamb, is it? You know, they've got a Pape who, let's face it, for me, again, best 9 in the league.
The fastest centre in the world in Tessiniru, who
My
absolutely
worry-
outstripped Bachelor.
Again, like, not even just in terms of, like, you know, he's sarcastically talking about his pace, but as a powerhouse at centre, right up there. And, you know, we're going to have Ardacre, Briscoe or Litton in the centre spot defending against him. Thinking about it, it would be
Left centre, so it'll be whoever's
Litton.
your right centre. No, he's your left centre.
yeah, it'd be Briscoe. Sorry.
One of your biggest problems
Or
this
Ardacre.
year, a consistent issue you've had across a lot of games, has been when you've moved players around, you and Dean have spoke at length about finding gaps in the defensive line. New will run through them and just make players look silly.
It's essential for me to have Ardacre at that centre spot because one drawback to Briscoe being at centre is defensive positioning, and with Barron being so young, he also gets drawn into that, and you quite often see those two out of position defensively. So you've got New to look out for. We have to have Ardacre there. You've got a Pape to look out for. You just never know what you're going to get from him. You've got Lamb, who is class, and Amon as well up front in the props. With Tom Amon.
Who plays for
Oh, sorry, he's
the Rovers player who plays for Cass?
No, what's the...
You got Trout, Mullane.
Who am I thinking of? I know it's not Amon. Who? There's one of their forwards that I'm thinking of.
Nakambuai, or whatever he's called.
I can't remember his name. I know it's obviously not Tom Amon because...
One of the things that, and it's a little bit tongue in cheek.
Yeah, no, I did because I was like...
I watched him play for Castleford yesterday.
That might be where it's coming
plays
from,
for
mate.
Rovers.
Yeah, I've already spoken about how my mind works today.
Something that you mentioned, and this is a little bit tongue in cheek, but I genuinely mean it. Mbappe is sort of known for being really hard hitting. Like, he cuts the players out, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I've worried for your team most of the year. Injury prone and taking them knocks. The way he flies out and hits people would genuinely be a worry for me. See bye. Would genuinely be a worry as an FC fan. As an FC fan, because you've got players that like you had an injury today, I believe, and it's worrying me. He'll come out and hit someone that's been carrying a knock, and I'd be worrying about it. Or players that have just come back, like Price for his hip today. If Mbappe hits him on that hip the way he hits it,
we'd like to think that Price wouldn't be getting caught in that position. Because, I mean, Price, for me, I said today, he's a bit like May. He's kind of like, if I get tackled and I have to go to ground, I've had a bad day. Yeah. Like, that's the way that I feel like Price is. So, hopefully he just doesn't put himself in a position where he can get caught by
they've got quality all the way across the field, haven't they, Lee? And it's... Yeah, it's a very dangerous place to go, especially with their team. Obviously, I know you're playing at home. I didn't mean that as in you're going to them. Just, it's a dangerous team to face.
I think it'll really tell FC where they're at coming into the closing point of the season. Ups and downs along the way, some good results. You don't really learn much from the Salford game earlier today. Next week will tell you if you are really, really viable for that sixth spot and you're going to challenge and you're going to do something with it.
I think we're in prime position to do it. We're in sixth again now because Wakey lost and we won. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to find out.
Good, we will find out.
Yeah. It might be that Offengawi that I was thinking of, by the way. Yeah. But anyway, Jimmy and his bad memory again. Right. Predictions.
Right, let's do it.
I've got mine locked in already.
Yeah, I've locked mine in as well. But just quickly before we get into them, it shows how much of a disadvantage we're at as doing this and our predictions, because what we predict on here is what we go with at the weekend. Like, I went for Hull by 38, Joshua went 26, Dean went 45, and Jimmy went 30, Susan went 37.
And then Salford fell apart
Knowing
even
the
more.
squad, we'd have changed our predictions and gone plus 80 possibly.
Well, yeah, and this is the only thing
I'd have
that,
changed mine
look,
looking at that.
We're in a league and we're competing against everyone that's in the Bragging Rights League, and that's great. And we don't know when people lock them in or don't. But what's nice is we lock them in here and we lock them in at the same time. So yes, we're at a disadvantage, but at least there's no unfairness between us. Oh, thank you, mate.
Second one of this season to
Proper, like, full league wooden spoon for the week, ain't you?
I think it's the second or third time I've had it this year.
Do you know what makes it even better? Is your dad got the gold cap.
Oh yeah, it's cracking round.
He did.
Anyway, just remind me where you are in that league.
Above Craig?
No,
I'm
but
chuckling, but
is it not above?
bottom.
Not above me, is it?
No.
All right. Because at the end of the year, this will be going to one of yous.
Susan's above you.
Susan is above you, yeah. Well, I know you're tied. You're tied.
Same points, but he's above you for some reason.
Yeah, but you keep forgetting my 5 points for
You're not having
correctly
them?
guessing.
Jake said no. Sorry,
Honestly.
Susan said no.
Yeah, wooden spoon this week.
I'm
Come
so
on,
bad.
we've been ages. Let's rack on.
Right,
Yeah, we have.
starting off Thursday, I believe, over at the Halliwell Jones, Warrington versus Catalan. 2 poor teams, really, for me. But I've got Warrington by 22.
Wire by 18.
Oh, why by 18? It's locked in.
Right, hang on 1 second. 18.
What's Dean got?
Dean has Warrington by 14. And I forgot to write Susan's down.
Wow. Does it matter? No one even knows what she looks like. It does not matter. It never will.
You sent him to me. You haven't sent him to me. You
This
haven't
is,
WhatsApped
this
me.
is chaos.
Yeah,
Well,
this
it's
is what
fun though,
happens
innit?
when Dean's
You haven't sent
not
them to
here.
me. No. Last
Yeah.
one I've got was outside.
They're not in the group, so whatever.
you've shit
Yours
out,
aren't
mate.
included now. You're out for the week. No, you're out for the week.
St Helens versus Huddersfield at the Totally Wicked on Friday, I think, this one.
Friday, yeah.
Huddersfield are on a bit of a resurgence, but Saints also on form. I think it'll be a decent game, to be fair. Saints by 20.
Saints by 22.
Saints by 26.
Dean has Saints by 20. Over to the big tie of the round. Not just saying that because it's us, but big tie of the round at the Brick. Wigan versus OKR. I sat and thought about this for ages, but I've gone for Rovers by 4. I've gone with my heart this time.
Rovers by 8.
Rovers by 2.
Rovers by 2, and Dean has Rovers by 10.
It was actually a really tough. I was just sat there and I was like, come
Yeah,
on,
I was
what's
the same.
what's going to happen? But
At the Jungle, over in Castleford, Castleford versus Leeds. I've got Leeds by 24.
Leeds by 20.
Leeds by 10.
Leeds by 10. Dean has Leeds by 15. Over at the Circle, on Saturday, Hull FC versus Lee. Should be a cracking game. I've got Lee by 14.
I've got Lee by 10.
But FC by 1.
And Dean's got FC by 5. So, finally, last tie of the round, possibly. The whole game could be the last tie. We'll know more in coming through the week. Salford versus Wakefield. Yeah, I know Wakefield got turned over convincingly, but can't see anything other than a Wakefield win. I've got Wakefield by 62.
I've got Wakefield by 64.
I've gone tactical here because I don't think that game will happen.
So you've gone for Salford.
I've gone Wakefield by 40 because that's how much they'll get if the tie gets
I
forfeited.
think Dean's done the same thing, so he's put 40 as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why
but
do you think a lot of the time this season I've said Salford to lose by 40? Is because if a game gets forfeited,
But we
it's a
don't.
40-0 loss.
We don't know if Super Brew will do the app, will do the thing. Will
No, I know.
negate
So I
it.
have took a gamble, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
that's why I keep going by 40.
See, and this is why I keep laughing about the league, because barring the Hull and Lee game, we all have the same predictions. So if we all win, all right, you can pick up bonus points, but I'm still going to keep the points piling up as well.
That's fine. I don't care about catching you, mate. I just need to stay in front of it. I just need to. Second bottom is enough. As long as I'm not bottom again.
Yeah. So yeah, some good games this week though.
Yeah, very, very good
Yeah.
games.
And I've gone a little bit more realistic. I had a few out there decisions last week where I thought I'm going to risk
Yeah,
it.
we had a bit of fun.
I had a bit of banter, but I'm back to business this
Next
week.
level bands dropped to what, 8
Stop
places
messing
in the
around
league.
now.
Yeah, no more ruffle for me.
Right. On that note, just want to say thank you for Tribal for letting us doss here for a bit, and to Comscaf for being our sponsor, and just to remind everyone to like and subscribe on YouTube or whatever it is you listen to us on, and we'll be back next week. So, see you, bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.